What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rugged Adventures. So glad to have you guys here today, because what we are going to be looking at today is exactly what can this green tip 5.56 penetrate. We did a video a little while back. It's about Humvee doors. We were shooting at Humvee door armor from basically an up armor Humvee kit. I think it was from the rear door. It was this one. I'll put a link to the video somewhere in here, somewhere at the top of the screen or something like that. But when we had done this, I had fully expected that the regular 5.56 would not either not penetrate, or if it did go through, that these green tips would just, decimate this thing. And what ended up happening in the last clip is that these are all of our standard 55 grain 5.56 rounds. These are all the ones from these green tip penetrators, and they all got stopped. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look to see, what this will actually go through, if it's at all any better than the standard 5.56 round. And what the working title I have for this on here is, does 5.56 green tip actually suck? Because what happens is that this weighs more. It has a steel core penetrator in there. It's not armor piercing or anything like that, but it does have a steel core penetrator in there, but it has the same amount of powder. So it actually moves about 200 to 400 feet per second slower than your typical 5.56, the regular 55 grain bullet. And when you're looking to go through things, velocity usually always trumps mass, in very similar size packages. So we're going to shoot through this just to show you guys that didn't see the video. We're going to see which one can shoot through a couple of these hollow cinder blocks, and these are the singles right here that I have set up. And then we have a whole bunch of these solid core 16 by 4 by 8s, and we also have a 12 by 12 by 12 solid chunk of wood that we'll see if either of these can go through. So first up, let's do a redo of that test right there. We'll put some spray paint on it and see how these do. First up, we'll shoot a regular 55 grain, then we'll shoot the green penetrator. I'll just try to put one high and one low, and we'll see what happens with that. I'm really fighting daylight here, so you guys would say that I talk too much in these videos. You guys are probably going to get your wish. So first up is the typical 55 grain 5.56. Get our hearing protection on, and we will let it eat. Okay, so that should be our high shot. And then this is the green tip. This will be our lower shot. And that one did have a decent amount more recoil to it because it is a 62 grain bullet. We'll go down and see what happened with them. And just as we had last time, the regular 55 grain went straight through. The green tip 62 grain did not. Didn't penetrate, has a little bit of bulge on the backside, but that one went straight through like a hole punch. This is about a 1/4 inch thick steel armor, and it also stopped 7.6239 like out of an AK-47. So next up, we will see if it will shoot through. We'll do the same thing, the regular 55 grain, the green tip over here. We'll see if it will go through however many of these that it'll go through, and see what that does. From the same distance, we will start off with the one on the left will be our 5.56 in 55 grain again, and I'll show you guys in case you don't believe me. Just the standard, jacketed, typical 5.56 round, and then we will switch over to the green tip and hit the one on the right. We'll just put the one in there, and then we'll go to the next magazine so that we can get this done in a timely fashion, because we really are pushing daylight here. I hate the fall for this reason. Let's go down there and see what each one did. All right, guys, when we look at this, for one, I think I hit low and right on the first shot, but the second one was directly on target. It went in, spalled out the backside, but didn't do anything. Well, there's a little bit of a dimple there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Didn't touch this back one at all. Didn't fracture this. So with the standard 55 grain lead jacketed 5.56, they do fragment when they hit things. So I was thinking that when it hit this, it may fragment, which if you're shooting at a soft target, does a lot more damage. But if you're shooting something like this, the bullet just ends up breaking into a billion pieces and being much less effective in a very quick period of time. On the other hand, this one over here, this green tip, this penetrator, it really did a number on this block. And what it did was it went straight in here, and it looks like it went and hit the back of this in some way. And I don't know if we're gonna be able to find any pieces of the cartridge, but it didn't do a single thing to the back or to the front of the one behind it. So next up, what we'll do is we'll use these. Now these are solid blocks, and based on the stuff from these blocks over here, I'm probably just going to set 1 or 2 of these up, because I don't really know if it's going to be able to penetrate through any of these, but maybe we can see how many shots it takes to get through this solid core concrete block. All right, we got these solid concrete blocks set up. Let's see how it takes to shoot through one of those. Something a little interesting, if you can see it, if it focuses on it. That is one of the steel core penetrators from inside those green tips that's you know, covered with lead and a copper jacket. I did not expect it to be that intact. Well, it took like, what, 3 to cut that one in half. So, does a decent job. Let's switch over to the green tips and see what happens. And I'm interested, without cutting them in half, to see what has happened. So we're gonna walk down and take a look. So as you guys can see the difference here, these are the ones we were shooting with 55 grain. I can't remember, I put like 5, 6, 7, 8 into that. I believe I shot 3 into these, and that pretty much split this one in half, and then and moved it, and then it went ahead and split this one. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the green tip penetrators are doing much better on masonry, rocks, things of that nature, and the regular 55 grains did a lot better going through metal, where you know, it may not have even had time to fragment before it went completely through that metal. So for our last thing, let's take a look at that 12 by 12 wood block. I don't know if it's going to stop it at all, but we will give it a look. And I think that maybe the fragmentation of the typical one versus the green tip may be the decision factor in that, between either being stopped or going all the way through. But only way to know is to try it. We are absolutely running out of sunlight, so I did the same thing. I loaded a standard 55 on top of a 62 grain green tip, and we'll see what it does to this chunk of wood. 55 grain first, 62 grain second. All right, so I shot the one high, I shot the one low. Let's go see if they went through. When we shot it, this is our typical 55 grain. This is our 62 grain green tip, and it actually did not make it all the way through this wood like I thought that it might. Good news is I have 2 screws on each one of these. I'm going to go ahead and start unscrewing them. When I get to the layers where I find each one of these, we'll see how far each one went. Oh, they're both of them are. And let's see here. I can't find it. It looks like, which that was screwed in like that. This is funny. This is funny because, listen, this was screwed in like this, okay? The bullets were coming from this side, all right? And so when we fold this down, the actual bullet is facing back towards where we were shooting from. So that's crazy interesting, because it must have been just tumbling through this thing. And I tell you what, let's go, and I don't know where the other one is. I don't know if it turned to dust or what. Let's keep unscrewing this thing and just see what kind of damage this was doing. Oh, you can even see right there how it was at an angle as it started to tumble. Let's just keep going. Yeah, I don't know if right about there is where it really started to tumble. Yeah, because those look like pretty much hole punches right there. Yep. So as far as penetrating through softer material like wood and such, what we were about, I'd have to actually look back on the video now, but like 3 or 4 deep into this before it actually stopped the bullet, and both of them went the exact same distance. As a matter of fact, this one here, the typical just 55 grain, nothing special, ended up staying intact, whereas our 62 grain just absolutely did not. So guys, that's all for today. Click on these videos that are up here for all the other cool stuff that we are messing around with. I do want you guys to subscribe to the channel so that you guys can see this new guy that we just picked up today, and watch us shoot that too.